Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. That was Ronald Reagan's famous words in 1987 when he referred to Russia as the evil empire and the focus of evil around the world. And that was the demise of the Soviet Union. You may wonder, why am I leading this video off with that? Because it applies to what's happening to us today. You see, at that time, Vladimir Putin was just an officer in the KGB. But that affected him deeply, the fall of the Soviet Union. And one of the things he swore when he went back into power was that he would bring down America. The plan was hatched. He started plotting for America's demise as soon as he became the president of Russia, of the Russian Federation. Now, Donald Trump was always begging to be amongst the elite. He always wanted to be with the in crowd. They never let him in. They would never let him in. They knew he was penny ante. They never would let him in. Now, when he had his final major bankruptcy, he couldn't get money anywhere. No banks would loan to him, and he was basically about to be poor man Trump. But what he ended up doing was he started money laundering for the Russian government and other oligarchs. Sorry. And that led him back into rich white man world. He got the show at The Apprentice. He became popular there. But all the time, Russian propaganda was behind him because he worked for them. He worked for them. They supplied him the money. And the thing about Donald Trump, if whoever gives him money, whoever's in his face at the time, becomes very prominent. The thing about taking money, though, is once you accept a bribe, you're on the hook. Not then, for as long as you're useful. Now, you may say, like, what does that have to do with what we're dealing with today? Well, it has a lot to do with it. Because Putin was dead set on destroying the United States. He was dead set on that. He wanted retribution, which he's getting right now, thanks to the arrogance of white America. This is not on any other ethnic or racial group in America. This is all on them, the same as the 98 financial collapse. That was on white America. And the only thing I say about that is it's time for all of us to stop looking at these people like they're proper leaders. Sure, they may hold the power, but that doesn't mean you have to follow them. That doesn't mean cut your own path. It's the same thing if you're in battle and you have a dumb lieutenant. Once he gets 10 people unalived, why would the next 10 people follow him? But we did. White America, we've been following you for over 400 years. And nobody has gotten anywhere except the rich in America. Now, we know that because by way of this election, that all white Americans are not MAGA, are not racist. We know that. And we know that all other ethnic groups of people are not for the people. We know that we have sellouts. People will sell out for money. That's been through history. Even Jesus Christ was sold out for money. You know, even Benedict Arnold sold us out for money. But it went a little further than that, because Benedict Arnold was basically, he got pissed because he didn't get certain commands and he didn't get certain credit for what he did during the Revolutionary War. So he did. That's why he did flip and go back to the British and turned on America. And the thing is, we wonder why, but how was Putin able to do this? Well, Putin knew and recognized something that everybody in this country denies. I don't say I'm wrong. Not everybody. What white people in this country will not acknowledge the racism in their group. They won't acknowledge that they're the most detrimental group of people in the United States. That they are the ones killing the United States and possibly have already brought us to our knees. Because I watched all these videos about the F around and find out. Oh no, that's trivial. What's going on with the Latin people, what's going on with the Arab people, what's going on with the white people that voted for him, that's all trivial. Because America hasn't found out just how bad Trump was for us. We're in deep doo-doo, for lack of a better word. You see, because Trump was able to lead that racist charge that Putin knew we were susceptible to. He knew that we were open to racism. And that's what he used against us. So for 20, 30 years, this plan has been in effect. Donald Trump was just a useful idiot, and still is a useful idiot. But what he did was raise racism to a higher level, to where it permeated through 50% of the white race here. He made black people, Latin people, Arabs, he made us all responsible for the troubles in America. And he was able to convince other white people that we were. And the reason he was able to do that was because a great majority of them already felt that way. You see, white supremacy didn't just happen in America. White supremacy happened actually during the times of Rome. It happened during the times of Pope Nicholas V, who signed that document of discovery, which allowed white folks to go out and take other people's lands in the name of God, convert them to Christianity, and if they don't, take them out. And that's what they did. That's exactly what they did. You know, the Roman Inquisition was about getting rid of all of the Christians that didn't follow the Roman version of Christianity. That was the Roman Inquisition. The Spanish Inquisition was a totally different thing. even though it was racist too in itself. It was a totally different thing. So Putin knew that that was our Achilles heel, racism. He saw it. And every time he put something in place, white folks ate it up. Every time he pushed this certain propaganda, they ate it up. We had congressmen and senators going to Russia, paid trips to Russia, either paid by our government because of who they were or paid for by him. But once they got to Russia, oh my God, it was open season. Because when you're arrogant and narcissistic, you're the best fool going. You're the best fool going. You could get played like a piano. And that's what he did. Every time he invited one of the white Christian congressmen or senators over to Russia, he would work them. We don't know the details, but I'm sure that a number of them were in sexual situations, took money, fell for the propaganda because they were that's their deep heart held belief, but also because they were being blackmailed as well. It's the one thing, see, when somebody's able to present you at your job or business or anywhere, once they get you to take a few dollars to commit a little crime, you're on the hook. See, there's no such thing as a little crook or a big crook. Crime is crime. It doesn't matter. So once Putin was able to get them and put them in that situation, he had them. But it was still very easy because Christian nationalism has always been about eliminating black people. See, the brown people, you guys weren't here at the beginning. You weren't here at the beginning. Now, you were part of the Manifest dynasty where they ran you out of Texas and California and all that. But we're talking at the beginning of this, at the beginning of slavery. Blacks were enslaved because Christian beliefs said it was so, that we should be their servants. This is deeply held embedded in white Christian nationalism. They truly believe that because that's what they were taught through generations, from the time of Rome, all through European culture. That's what they did. And so now what happens is, once Vladimir Putin had them, and he knew what their weaknesses were already, because they were studied before they got there. Think tanks was all over that behind before they even touched ground. Everything was put in place to work them. When you go to Russia, if you seem like you're an enemy of the United States, Vladimir Putin was going to use you, and he did. So now all that racism that they stoked up over the years, what came to a boil when Barack Obama was elected in 2008. They flipped the hell out, and he gave them more propaganda, which they brought home into their neighborhoods, in their speech, what they said. I mean, look what Mitch McConnell, when Obama was elected, he said, our main goal is to make him a one-term president. That was white supremacy speaking. They never respected him because he was black. And when that's in your heart, that was part of their heritage. It's still part of their heritage. Is why we will crumble. Believe it or not, we will crumble because we've already lost. Putin has already won. Now, we'll have a lot of politicians still talking about how we're still this economic powerhouse and we're still the top nation in the country and we're still the best and we're still number one. Well, that's what got our ass up shit creek now, without a paddle. But that's their firm belief. And Putin used that. So we went from a semi-harmonious country where we were able to not like each other, we were able to tolerate what was going on. And from 2015 to where now in 2024, none of us like anybody of the other race. Blacks have problems with Latinos. Latinos have problems with blacks. Whites have problems with blacks. Whites have problems with Latinos. They have problems with Arabs. They have problems with Indians. But all this is, we're at a point now where we're completely divided and nobody trusts anybody. There's nobody in the black community that trusts anybody after this election. We don't trust Latinos. We don't trust Arabs. We don't trust Asians, even though 77% of Asians did vote with us. And we don't trust white people because white people have never did what they promised. We've never gotten from them what was promised. All the way back to that 40 acres and a mule. Even when the slaves were free, they still weren't free for another year and so after that. They never dealt with us as people. They don't view us as people. That's why Trump was so easy to say the black Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, are stealing and eating the cats and dogs. Why would anybody who lives in America that's working and steal and eat somebody else's cats and dogs when they could stop at the market and buy beef, ground beef, chicken? Why would they do that? I mean, what sense did that make? But white America ate that up. They really, truly believed that. They truly believed it because that's what they want to believe. When I say white America, and I should even do better, I'm going to identify them as MAGA America. Because just like all black people are not good, all white people are not bad. Not everybody lacks humanity. That's the thing. Humanity doesn't have a color or race or anything. It doesn't have that. Either you have humanity and love in your heart or you don't. There's no in between. Just like you see all, I mean, you look at, like, even look at the Christian nationalists. Now, they were introduced into politics and integrated into politics by Ronald Reagan and Jerry Falwell, the silent majority. They went on a mission. They've been on a mission. They're on a mission today. You have pastors and preachers in church preaching racism. They're not just racism, hate. Hate. And these people are eating up the hate. Well, I mean, this is the bottom line. You can run around and say you love Jesus and you love God all you want. But if you can't be Jesus, if you can't be godly, you're full of doo-doo. Simple as that. There's no middle ground. You can sit there and run your chops all you want. Your actions tell everyone exactly who you are. So you can sit there and fool yourself and play that game with yourself tomorrow. I love Jesus. No, you don't, because you can't be him. You can't show. You can't even show any type of humanity and love to your fellow man. That's what Jesus asked for, but you can't do that. You hate LGBT people, transgender, black people, Muslim people, Arab people, Mexicans. You display that hate all the time. You don't worship Jesus, you worship Satan. You worship hell. I'm sorry. You could try and sit there and put that spin in your mind and say, I'm a good person. You're not if you are spewing hate. You're not a Christian. You're not a God-fearing person. You're full of doo-doo. But anyway, let's get back to the thing. Putin, he saw that in us. And he knew that was his way to get even with this country. That was his way. Let's exploit their racism. And the perfect person for that was Donald Trump. Because he was already bought and paid for. He is already not a he's not a serious thinker. Because he's greedy. See, greed and narcissism makes you a fool. Doesn't matter that you may have one or two intelligent things to say. When you're greedy and you're narcissistic, you're a fool. And your demise is coming. His demise is coming. He may be on the top of the world today, but he won't enjoy that. He won't enjoy that. This is going to be the worst time of his life. But anyway, so now the thing is, Putin used that all against us. And he's tore this country up. Now, what makes it even worse is everything that's been said in America about Muslims, about Arabs, about African Americans and Africans and Haitians and Jamaicans, everything that's been said, that's in the global universe. All these country leaders know exactly what was said. They know exactly how America feels about them. They don't call Americans Americans. They call Americans colonizers, parasites, coming to steal and take their stuff. That's what they say. That's what they say. And that's their firm belief. Because they were colonized for years, and their resources was taken for years. So, white America got played because of their narcissistic and arrogance. They got played by Putin. Now, they'll never admit it. We got played. And we're in a bad, bad spot. That F around and find out, we haven't found out yet how bad it's going to be. America, you guys don't know how bad this is going to get. And I'll just give you a quick for instance. China, Africa, and India were colonized nations. They were colonized. Well, those three colonized nations are coming together as one unit. They don't need us to trade or exchange anything. Just between those two countries and the continent of Africa, it's like 4 billion people. They don't need the rest of the world to do anything. But, see, America was set up and played by Putin. Because now what's happening is they formed what they call BRICS. Now see, BRICS in the beginning was just Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South America. That was a couple years back, 3 years back. Nobody paid attention to it because, how much force is there? But now BRICS has expanded. BRICS is now Besides those 5 countries, you could throw in Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Iran, United Arab Emirates, Argentina, Algeria, Belarus, Bolivia, Cuba, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Nigeria, Thailand, Turkey, Uganda, and it's growing. Right now, BRICS represents about 60% of the world's population. 60%. And they're together. And the United States is not included. They're the colonizers. We can't get in no time soon because we haven't proved that we're worthy. What I mean by that is the colonized countries of China, India, and the continent of Africa, they were colonized. They don't trust the colonizers. That's out the window. They don't trust you. So you're not getting BRICS no time soon. That won't happen. But what ends up happening is now, as economic development keeps growing, because they are growing, you have connecting railways between all the way from China through India to Africa. Land travel, not just by ship, but even by ship. Ports have been, Africa's had like 12 new ports. And train systems, the train systems there. The thing is, these countries are coming together and they're supporting each other. Sure, China's going to want, they want to get whatever the minerals that Africa has to sell. Well, America was getting them, but you never did anything for those people. America and Europe never considered their humanity. They never treated them like they were people. Hell, they never treated us in America, black people, like we were people. They enslaved us, they beat us, they hung us. They systematically, even once slavery was over, systematically put us in poverty, put us at the bottom of the totem pole. They never did anything for us. Now they'll scream and say, "Oh, we did." Well, we all, as an African American, in my lifetime, they've never done anything for us that was not forced upon them. They've never been harmonious with us. They've never treated us like we were people. So we know firsthand how they treat blacks in Africa, how they treat the Indians, how they treat the Chinese who actually built the railroads here in our country. It's always racial oppression. Keep them down, smash them. And that's what they've done. Well, now there's a whole alliance of countries of the global majority that we are part of, that they are not. They are not part of the global majority. They're the global minority. They could call us minorities in America, but globally, they're the minority. And the global majority is standing up and taking a stand against this country. Economically, we're going to crash. We're going to crash. Prices will go up. Travel will be limited. And if you go somewhere around the world and you say, well, I'm American, it won't be like it used to be. It won't be, hey, he's American. We got American. You say, we got a pariah. Don't come in this bar. Don't come in this city. Believe me, that's where we're headed. Because the world has waited a long time to retaliate against the colonizers. China, Africa, India, they're not going to treat America bad. I mean, they're not going to attack. They're not going to start any wars. But they're not going to be kumbaya inclusive. No, that's not going to happen. Americans have to earn every bit of trust from them. And that won't happen no time soon. Maybe 10 years, 15 years, possibly, if we change what we're doing. But we're not. And the reason we know we're not, because our Congress and our politicians and the white people in this country are on the same mission. Putin charged the battery, and the bunny's still hopping. Trump is still hopping. He's still pushing out Russian propaganda that they gave him, that he believes. He thinks he's the second coming of Hitler. The second coming of somebody that nobody in the world enjoyed. So where we stand now, like I say, we're in deep doo-doo. And I implore my fellow Black Americans, African Americans, Jamaicans, Haitians, bond with your people. The Latin people do. The Jewish people do. The white people do. So why do you think they're able to step on us so easy? Because we're scattered. We're scattered. They know that they can go and push a button here and they can get a celebrity from the Black community and he'll prop them up. They can get a preacher to come and sit up and spew lies about one of the greatest Americans in the world. They know that. So, and they're not going to stop because their narcissism and arrogance won't stop until it is stopped. And they will be stopped, and we will all in America pay the consequences of their actions. This is why I say African Americans need to come together as one unit. If you don't have to like everybody to love everybody. It's not necessary for you to like everybody. Sure, you're not going to like everything, but you need to love your people enough to where you uplift them so they can uplift you. If you expect an uplifting from white Americans, Latin Americans, Arab Americans, Asian Americans, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Everybody's in their corners now. So the best thing I tell African Americans, Haitians, Jamaicans, all the people of this country and the surrounding areas that have been taken out of Africa and scattered around the world for slave labor, get your doo-doo straight. Get your doo-doo straight. Like I said, you don't have to like me. You don't have to like Kamala Harris. You guys run around here talking about she's not really black because she has other blood. But damn near every African American in this country has mixed blood. No African American in this country has all African blood. You're not pure. We've been stepped on more than an ounce of you know what. We all have mixed blood, mixed heritage. But as they say, as I heard and I read, and I truly believe, All Africans are not black, but all black people are African. Your melanin didn't come from Sweden, Denmark, the UK, or Norway. It came from Africa. You came from the tree of life. Your melanin is proof of how sturdy an individual that you are. That's why we're still surviving today. If we didn't have the DNA we have, we would be done. We would be done. But we're not. Our problem is we got to recognize our superpower. We got to recognize that we are a superpower in the world. They may look down on us here in America, but they look up on us in Africa. They look up on us in China. They look up on us in India. You notice I didn't say Europe or even America. No, they don't look up on us there because we are useful idiots to them. They still don't see us as human beings. Not yet. Not yet. But God has to deliver them from their afflictions. That's not something we can do. And we need to stop trying to do that, trying to assimilate, trying to integrate to relieve them of their afflictions. That's not on us. We need to relieve ourselves from the afflictions that they are giving us, from the trauma that they give us just to live. Every day in the life of a minority in America is a day of trauma. It doesn't matter what level it is, it's a day of trauma. Whether you're that person going to jail or whether you're that person in the office that does all the work and keeps getting passed over for an advancement. Thank you. You guys have a good evening. Talk to you another day.